Hey guys, let's get more news from Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Steelers close to completing huge move that will take care of TJ Watt, defense. While the Pittsburgh Steelers search for an offensive coordinator has begun, the team doesn't have to find a coordinator on the other side of the ball. Teryl Austin, whose 2-year contract expired after the season, is expected to return as defensive coordinator after the Steelers ranked 6th in the league in fewest points allowed last season. According to Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, the #Steelers are working to finalize a new 2-year contract for defensive coordinator Teryl Austin, per sources. Austin, with Pittsburgh since 2019, guided the league's 6th-ranked scoring defense. The Steelers' defense let up a little bit last season compared to 2022. Pittsburgh allowed more rushing yards and passing yards per game than the previous year, but the team dealt with significant injuries on that side of the ball. Defensive end Cam Hayward and safety Minkah Fitzpatrick combined to miss 13 games, while inside linebackers Cole Holcomb and Quan Alexander missed a combined 17 games. Hayward addressed his injuries while squashing rumors that the Steelers star was set to retire. "I'm not retiring. I hate to be blunt about it, but I'm not retiring. I would like to get my body healthy. I just played an entire season on one leg, where I could barely run for the entire season." While the Steelers' defense appears to be set, they still need to find a new offensive coordinator. Pittsburgh fired former OC Matt Canada mid-season, after issues on offense threatened to torpedo the team's playoff chances. The Steelers confirmed that the organization interviewed Carolina Panthers offensive coordinator Thomas Brown for the position on Wednesday. Trent Jordan Watt, born October 11, 1994, is an American football linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers of the National Football League, NFL. He played college football for the Wisconsin Badgers before being selected by the Steelers in the first round of the 2017 NFL Draft. Watt was a finalist for the NFL Defensive Player of the Year award in 2019 and 2020 before winning the award in 2021. Where he tied the single-season NFL record for most sacks, matching Michael Strahan's 22.5 sack record set in 2001. He is the younger brother of 3-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year J.J. Watt and fullback Derek Watt. Fittipaldo believes Patrick Peterson should be cut, can't ask him to play outside anymore. The Pittsburgh Steelers signed future Hall of Fame CB Patrick Peterson last offseason to a 2-year contract. Whether he sees the second year of that deal remains to be seen. In the past week, Ray Fittipaldo of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette argued that he should not. Peterson will be 34 years old next season. He is due $3.8 million in base salary and another $3 million in the form of a roster bonus due in March. Yet it's not immediately clear where he would play, which is part of the problem. The bottom line with Peterson is you can't ask him to play outside anymore at his age, Fittipaldo argued in a recent chat session, and while he might be able to play safety on a full-time basis, they already have Minkah Fitzpatrick in that role. Peterson just doesn't fit as a strong safety. There may be some truth to this. But there is also truth to the lack of proven depth at the cornerback position. Right now, you basically have Joey Porter Jr. and nobody else if you want to cut Peterson. Levi Wallace and James Pierre are unrestricted free agents, and apparently nobody wants Wallace re-signed. Pierre has been relegated to little more than special teams duty for years. Do you really want to tie your hopes to Corey Trice Jr., a rookie 7th-round pick who tore his ACL in training camp? He already had a concerning injury history, which is why he was available so late in the draft. Darius Rush, another rookie they acquired in season, hardly saw the field after his Steelers debut. That doesn't mean one or both of them can't go on to become great players. But it does mean that you have no assurances of them even being worthy of a roster spot in 2024. Maybe they will be, maybe they won't be. But you might want to have a better sense of that before making drastic moves. At the same time, that is not to say that you need to hold on to Peterson. If you don't feel like he can hang outside anymore and you don't have a spot at safety, $6.8 million is a lot to pay for that. You could release him and try to find another solution on the open market. Perhaps there is enough meat on the bone for him to continue in that joker role. The fact that he could line up anywhere has value itself. And he could perhaps transition into a nickel defender as his primary position. They are not spoiled for riches there. Still, it is a serious question that head coach Mike Tomlin acknowledged the Steelers have to weigh. The decision to sign him was based on Cameron Sutton pricing himself out of Pittsburgh. They will know the market and whether they can replace him economically. If not, they will have to find another way. Perhaps a restructure, extension, or some other means of lowering his cap hit. Steelers interview Thomas Brown for OC vacancy. After missing out on the head coaching job in Tennessee, Carolina Panthers offensive coordinator Thomas Brown is now solely focused on landing a coordinator job in 2024. He is under contract with the Panthers, so he could remain in place depending on who the new head coach is, but understanding a new staff will likely come into place, he's keeping his options open. On Wednesday, Brown interviewed with the Pittsburgh Steelers for their open offensive coordinator job, but will have some stiff competition. Zach Robinson and Cliff Kingsbury are also being considered among several others. The Steelers' offense was a mess this season, mainly due to the combined quarterback play of Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky. Pickett underwent ankle surgery and ended up losing the starting job to Mason Rudolph, who began the season as the third-string quarterback. Pittsburgh finished 25th in total offense, 305.4 YPG, 25th in passing, 187.8 YPG, and 11th in rushing, 117.6 YPG. Brown's first year as an offensive coordinator was a challenging one to say the least. The flip-flopping of play-calling duties between he and head coach Frank Reich didn't help the offense whatsoever, and by the time he gained full control of the unit, it was too deep into the season for anything to change. Brown was also considered for the offensive coordinator job in Chicago before they hired Shane Waldron. Thomas Brown, born May 15, 1986, is an American football coach and former running back who is the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers of the National Football League, NFL. Brown previously served as the offensive coordinator and running backs coach at the University of Miami. He played college football at Georgia. Thereafter, he played professionally in the NFL for the Atlanta Falcons and the Cleveland Browns. Brown was a freshman All-SEC selection in 2004 after totaling 172 carries for 875 yards and 8 touchdowns, as well as 16 receptions for 150 yards, amassing 1,043 all-purpose yards. He had 100-yard games against Vanderbilt Commodores, Arkansas Razorbacks, Kentucky Wildcats, and Wisconsin Badgers. In addition to his All-SEC selection, he was the recipient of the Offensive Newcomer of the Year award and the team's Victors Club award. And you fan, what do you think of the Thomas Brown situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.